And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, you see the beautiful backdrop behind me. You know, I'm at an elevated a section right now over in the super VIP section over here, sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino in San Manuel over here. We are recapping day one of Dallas Cowboys training camp. Brian Broaddus, let me just tell the people how I think our recap training camp situation is going to be a little different. I think everybody outside tried to recap everything. You
Mhm.
talked to me in the vehicle, the large 8-person vehicle that we have. You was like, Voch, what are you covering in particular? And I gave you a
Yeah.
small list of things that I'm covering because I wanted to be nuanced with it. And me and you going to be covering two different things. Now, I'm probably going to see some of the things that you saw, and you probably saw some of
Mhm.
the things that I saw. So it's going to be interesting to be able to relay notes back and forth because I haven't heard what you had to say on radio, and
Nice.
you haven't heard the video that I did earlier. So, um, let me just say this, Brian Brothers. I will say this the practice that we had today is not a practice that a 90-year-old coach can have. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I didn't get a chance to go to the OTAs and the mini camp and all that. So when I was hearing, rumors about it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of music, it's a lot of jumping around, I didn't
Yeah.
understand what they were saying. But Brian,
Right.
all the coaches was running around. Literally, if it was a
Yeah.
big play, it was coaches swinging their arms in the air. I was like, okay, cool. Schottenheimer swinging his arms in the air, the players swinging, and I thought it was like, all right, y'all. I thought it was theatrics at first, Brian Bros. I won't cap. But towards the end of practice, when there was the 11 on 11 team stuff, the defense did seem to have a big amount of energy towards the end.
They did.
So when they got three turnovers, I believe it was a
Yeah.
pick on Dak, a fumble on Princeton Fant, and I think George Pickens had a fumble also. You
George Pickens had one too. Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of saw that energy relaying back and forth, Brian Bros. So at least on day one, I'm buying it into the energy so far.
Yeah. No, I think the question was about when we did everybody when they watched the media section of practices when we were in there in Frisco.
Yeah.
All the media was talking about energy, energy, energy. That was a word. And then we get out here. What I was happy to hear this guy talk about was some physicality with the practices when we start to see the pads.
Sure.
There's no question, though. Everybody, you're absolutely right. The way I have, Lach, I've never been a part of a practice, high school, college, pro, where music played the whole entire time the practice was going on,
Sure.
but it wasn't. I mean, it's a little getting used to, just from my perspective of never, being a part of a lot of campaigns. I'm used to hearing coaches yelling and coaching and all that, and there's that going on, but there's also this vibe to it where it is, it just kind of keeps it going. And
Yeah.
I thought today, for just a helmets and shirts practice, I thought there were some things that I like to see. I really was excited about what Donovan Ezeraku was able to do.
Hmm.
I saw Dante Fowler a couple of different times do something that I thought was pretty good.
Sure.
They play that wide technique, that wide nine, and then they're rushing the passer.
Hmm.
I liked some of the things that I saw from Kenneth Murray as far as in the linebacker with Maris Leofau
Yeah.
and what they were able to do. Defensively, there was some positive things. And and then you can flip it on the other side. And I think there's some things that you and I'll get into on the offense. But I
Sure.
think overall, for a first practice, I think there was some things that they had to be encouraged by.
Well, let's do it then. Let's start with defense. What I noticed, and look, if you're watching offensive defensive line, on a non-pad today, you're really gonna walk away with infrastructure and things like that. So
Right.
what I saw, Brian, is I didn't see the edges swap sides much, but I
Yeah.
did see the tackles switch gaps. So
Yeah.
Donovan and Dante were mostly on the left side. I
Right.
saw Peyton Turner on the right side, and
Uh-huh.
Marshawn Nealon also on the right side as well. So they didn't switch sides as much. But what I did notice, and you can talk about this, Brian, is from the tackle situation. I said earlier on my video was that I don't think the Cowboys are looking for people to add to one tech right now. I think that they're gonna just kind of throw bodies at it because the very first one tech that I saw out there was Solomon Thomas. So it was
Right.
Solomon and Osa out there. Solomon was an A gap.
Right.
Then I saw Perion Winfrey, who's like 208 pounds, 200, like not a one tech guy. I saw him in
But
A
play,
gap.
played some one at Oklahoma. If you remember
Sure
how
did.
coming out of college, he played a little some one technique in Oklahoma.
Sure did.
Yeah.
So what I think, Brian, is I don't think the Cowboys are gonna live in this world of this guy plays one tech and that's it. As far as Jay Towie, I saw him in A gap and I didn't see him move at all, and I didn't see Osa move from B gap, but everybody else, Mozzie played both. Solomon played three positions. I saw him at edge one time. Winfrey, Perion Winfrey, played A gap and B gap. So I said that earlier. I don't think people liked it too much, but that's what I think the reality is. I don't think the
Yeah.
Cowboys are looking for a whole bunch of one tick help right now.
No, I mean it appears just through one practice though that they're going to see what they have in with these guys, and it might be a team that they're going to say, you know what, we're going to be a little bit lighter up front, and let's see if with the seven, let's see if we get the linebackers, let's see if we get Murray and Sanborn and Leofau and those guys and play a little bit better, in the safety play. I mean, I know today just watching safety play, I really was impressed with what Bell was doing and some of the coverage things that he got thrown into with the
Sure.
waggles, the boots. They're trying to kind of throw him one direction or another. But here he is, making plays, staying in coverage. But that front seven is going to be about, how they're going to defend the run. Help me a little bit here. There looked like to me a couple of times, Voch, and I know you were down. I was at one end and you were down the other. It appeared to me like there was a couple of times where Dallas had got some push at the point of attack. Say the ball was they were playing that gap scheme and they were pushing that thing to the left, and
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, like Sanders, it's like they got Booker and Steele on the backside, and now there's a crease. Now
Yeah.
there was a crease in there, and I was because everybody's asking, well, how did Guyton? I'm like, well, they start the ball to the left, and here's like they get the push, and then they get the cut off
Hmm.
that push. So there was a couple of different times whether it was Miles Sanders, Deuce Vaughn, there just appeared to be that they were able to, for at least two or three steps, get into their blocks and then play off. And I didn't know if what you thought with the defense. Maybe this is something that they're going to have to deal with it if they're going to be a little bit lighter. That maybe that's something that the front seven's going to have to be able to get off the ball, get off blocks. Because today there were a couple of different times. I know you're watching the line. It looked like to me that there was some good push and a cut
Yeah.
that resulted in a positive run.
As far as your comments on offense and the cutbacks being there in the run game,
Yeah.
we'll never truly know till the pass come on, right? But
Oh
as
no, but
but
it
as
looked like if you're
yeah,
gonna play hard hard 2 or 3 steps and get into a block, but that there was a lot of times where Dallas Cowboy backs in the past had been contacted behind the line or at the line, and there
sure,
seemed like to be that they were able to get a little bit of just a couple of runs where those things were going downhill, and then they got the cut out of that though. That part of it was a little bit encouraging, like, okay, how about a little space? Looked like a little space there. They had one time where they had Turpin in the backfield, handed in the ball going off the left side,
back to back.
and Turpin's good for 6, 7 yards
Hmm.
just doing that.
Yeah.
So I thought overall, if you sat down and watched the tape, there would probably be some things where you'll say, okay, the defense, didn't really do this all that well. Offense was pretty well, and then kind of a vice versa day in some of those regards.
Brian, there were two things I noticed on offense, right? And we can talk about them one by one. I just want to know if you saw what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw a major emphasis on shifts and motions.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
um, previous administration to be like, look, guys, we're running shifts and motions more. But if your shifts and motions are up 20% from 10%, yeah, you're technically up. Brian,
Right.
I feel like 92% of the time, and I'm going to tell you what the other eight are after this, but 92% of the time there was some sort of shift in motion,
Right.
no matter what the formation was, personnel group was, because sometimes Hunter Lipke's going to be an interesting character in this thing, because
Right.
sometimes in two tight end set, he was the second tight end. Sometimes in two running back set, he was the fullback. So Hunter Lipke seems to be a player in this thing. But when there were shifts in motions, no matter what, even if it was a heavy set, it
Right.
was all right. We're gonna start off in like this ace kind of
Trade
set, and then
and
we're
then
gonna
trade it. Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna go to both of us are gonna run to the other side,
Right.
and
Right.
then
Right.
after the shift is gonna be a motion over there, and
Yeah.
something happening on the other side. It seems like they're very purposeful with shifts and motions. Brian,
Yeah.
respond to that, and then I got one more for you.
No, I think you're onto something too. I felt like some of the formations were a little bit reduced as well,
Sure.
with the way the things, and maybe that's because of the 12 personnel stuff that they're playing in. But you could tell that they were doing shifts because I was watching the defense, and then defense was having to adjust with them. So that tells you, as you're watching, it wasn't like a stationary front. It was movement, movement, and now you got the defense adjusting with the movement, to try and match the strength. So that happened, and there was like that what we call stimming, working outside, getting, okay, we're at this technique, and now we're going to move out to this technique. So there were several times where movement forced the defense to have to be able to adjust along with them.
I got one more for you, Brian. Some that was interesting to me, infrastructure wise. It may not be nothing, but we can get into a tempo set, right? Like a tempo set is common. Like, hey, we're gonna go tempo, like we're gonna go fast for the next 5 plays, right? Brian, it could just be me. There were some plays it seemed like they were getting on the ball faster, like not
Yeah, they
like
really
not
were.
like
Yeah.
not like 5 or 6. Like one play would be, all right, y'all, we're in the huddle. We're gonna walk
Yeah.
to the line of scrimmage. We're gonna go through our series of shifts and
Hmm.
motions. Then we're gonna run our play. Sometimes they'll fly to the line of scrimmage, Brian,
Yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
run their play immediately. Brian, what do you think that was? And look, it's no indication that they're in some kind of no huddle because they'll do it from the huddle. Like they're in the huddle and they run to the line of scrimmage and they run the play. And that play is not tied to the previous play or the next play. The next
Hmm.
play could be a slow play. The next play could be another
Yeah.
tempo play. What you think about that, Brian? Did you see that?
I think they're trying to create some rhythm. I think they're
Mm,
trying to create a little rhythm to their offense. I think they're trying to show that, you know what, if we run a play, and then you see the coaches, all the coaches are like kind of, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then, then immediately it was, and sometimes you always see this like on 4th and 1, like they huddle real tight, and then they break it. That's almost what it was like. It was like you
mm,
mentioned, you run a play, and then they would huddle, and then they would break out of that just to kind of, now they were doing a period today. The first period that they were doing was coming off the goal line, or they were backed up.
mm.
So maybe that's something like, okay, we get a little space, and now we can try and take advantage, maybe steal a first down here or there. But I clearly noticed that, as you said, run a play, and then like it's like they were trying to catch the defense not ready, not substituted, or catch 12 men on the field.
Yeah.
That's just maybe something that they're trying to incorporate as something that they could go to maybe catch you off guard that way defensively.
The reason why I asked though, Brian, because we were talking about this early on the break on DallasCowboys.com, and you were talking about these college offenses. Think
Yes.
about think about Tennessee and how they run
Yeah.
offense, right? The University of
Right.
Tennessee, like
Right.
they'll go fast and then they'll slow down
They will
and they'll
go
go
real
fast.
fast. Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, is that something that we're taking from them, or is it just something that like
Oh, this could be,
sure,
yeah, yeah, this could be college. This could be the college influence. You're absolutely right. This could
sure,
be Coach Riley. This could be our, this could be something that maybe in the off season they spent some time and were studying, some of the college offenses, and saying, well, okay, teams that play with pace, and you're absolutely right about what the Tennessee Balls do and how
yeah,
they play.
yeah,
But when I started thinking, because of the conversation again we had on the break, the college offense or a power running offense or power offense. When you're talking about what you earlier, I wanted to circle back on that, the 12 personnel stuff, but also Hunter Lipke being involved.
yeah,
To me, these power running teams have point of attack players, but they play with like a fullback or a move tight end, and they try and shift and get you to. So this might be some of the influence that we're seeing from the 49ers with how they play with Kyle Juszczyk, and not that
hmm,
Hunter Lipke's Kyle Juszczyk, but you're getting the idea of shift, shift, and then now use that fullback or use that tight end as that point of attack player.
What do you think about the combo of C.D. Lamb and George Pickens today? I feel like they were catching everything. I feel like they were at multiple levels of the field. Now
Yeah.
Edom is here, Bland is here, so I guess your starting corners are here. Diggs is not, but it seems like no matter who was out there playing defense, it's like besides the fumble or whatever, but like GP and CD were just kind of taking whatever they wanted out there.
Yeah, I think to me, I was looking for the ball because we were thinking more downfield, 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 and they
Sure.
never really got. It was more kind of the quick get it out and then let these guys try and run. I know there was one pass. You mentioned the fumble
Mm,
that Pickens caught it inside and then Bland chased him and knocked the ball out. That was on a kind of a quick play, and then they had a play where they came back to Lamb where he was playing like inside and it went quick pass to him inside, and then he kind of skirted up the field. I didn't see anything. There was the one time uh where Carson got beat, Cropper got him. I
mm-hmm.
don't know if you saw the play on the double move where,
Yeah.
it was kind of like the ball, but the ball ended up out of bounds, which would have been a good play. They had a couple plays where the ball, they tried to throw the seam. They did hit a seam. Milton, I believe he got it to Neville. That was going away from me right there. So,
Yeah.
uh, you know, I'm looking forward the next few days though with the offense, like, okay, will the ball, like you always make the point, don't give me the hooks and hitches,
Get downfield.
don't give me that offense. Don't give me the hooks and hitches. Give me the downfield plays. Give me the downfield plays.
Now,
And
Brian.
but today,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, Brian.
today was not a lot of downfield plays.
I don't want to be an alarmist, Brian, but on that play, that Pickens fumbled. Let's just be clear. It was a humongous gain, and he
Oh
fumbled at
yeah,
the end.
huge gain,
Now,
huge
look,
gain.
Pickens ain't the fastest character in the world. I don't want to
No,
be an alarmist, but Donovan Wilson couldn't keep up with him at all. Like Donovan
no.
was close to him, and it's like the more Pickens was running, he just kept getting farther. So when you say Bland called him and made him fumble, yeah,
Yeah, Bland made the play.
Bland had better leverage
Bland
on
was
him.
on the other side of the field. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure
but he
was.
was running
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Donovan Wilson. It
He
was not.
was.
It was not.
Yeah, yeah,
It was not cute. It wasn't cute.
yeah.
Um, I felt like Dak was solid today. Dak had some misses here or there, some tips at the line of scrimmage, but I think Dak was his usual. His usual self, kind of getting it out. Getting the ball out quickly. I think Dante Fowler made a
Nothing spectacular though, right?
nothing
Nothing.
nothing crazy, but
I mean, it
solid
was
first down.
because the way the offense was, it was kind of that. I noticed something with Dak, and see if you agree with me on this. I
Yep,
felt like he played a lot of snaps under center today.
he
Like
did.
they were,
Sure.
and I felt like they practiced more running plays than they did passing plays.
It was a
Did
ton
that
of
did that seem like it to you?
Dak was under center. It was a ton of run plays, and it was a ton of
Yeah.
play action boots and waggles today.
Exactly,
A ton of
exactly.
boots
See,
and
that's why
waggles
I
today.
saw Span Ford. Like Span Ford, I know it was day one of me looking for Span Ford to look more comfortable, not looking like a kid. You're trying to teach how to catch a ball in the front yard. You're worried about it hitting him in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
Hands looked a better position. He looked more comfortable. With the Ferguson, I tell you, all the tight ends watching Ferguson get up the field, boy, he looked healthy. He looked
Yep.
like he was into it, like the old Ferg, and that's day one.
Yep.
But I think with Span Forward, what I was looking for was better hand placement, better, and he snagged. They ran a waggle going to the offense's right, and he caught a ball where he had to adjust to it. That Dak hit him, and it was a good catch. And it looked like it said, "Okay, kid getting better at hand position and securing the football, and not looking like he was fighting it."
I felt like I saw all the edges do something today, except for like Sam Williams. Did you see Sam do something? Like
I did not notice Sam, but like I said, I noticed Izaraku and I
Peyton Turner had a
noticed
play too.
Fout.
Like
And
Peyton Turner
Peyton
had a
Turner had a
pressure. Yeah,
pass rush. Peyton Turner had a pressure. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
So yeah, I was that was surprising me. And then we talk about Nealon
yeah.
getting an interception.
Yeah.
Like who had that on the card of, oh wow, like Nealon going to drop in coverage and make a play and
Right.
go in the flat. I don't know if Dak. I'd love to see the film and see if Dak even saw him.
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
So when we come back here tomorrow at 11:45, Brian Brothers, what are some of the things you're going to be looking for? Whether we're doubling down on something that we saw today, or you looking at something different tomorrow, what you going to be looking at?
Yeah, I'm going to see once again. I was encouraged by some of the early gap scheme runs that the Cowboys were able to execute. And I know it's hard with no pads to get an evaluation of that. But if you could give me three hard steps, stay off the ground, protect each other, if I could see some hip to hip push and then some cuts, or hip to hip push and just attack it, boy, I would be really, really happy with that. I'd like to see what we were talking about earlier with the motions, the condensed formations. things like that. I was okay with the running practice today, but
Sure.
I do want to see the ball go down the field, and maybe in 4 or 5 days we'll see the ball being thrown down the field more. But I felt like for the waggle, the quick game stuff like that, that was. I thought Dak was okay today. I thought Milton had a couple of good throws, was
That's who the hell it
okay.
went downfield with. Joe Milton threw
Yeah,
that joint
yeah.
down. Now he missed.
Joe
He
Milton, Joe
missed, but he
Milton could
threw it.
flick it. Joe Milton could flick it. I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He hit Neville. That thing was a seam, and he could flick it,
Yeah.
and that thing goes down the field. So yeah, maybe a little bit more. But if the running game turns into like the 12 personnel stuff, Hunter Lipke fullback runs, those kinds of things, I I I like I'd say I'd love to see when backs are running and they're not getting touched,
Yeah.
until they're across the line of scrimmage.
I'm gonna watch the same damn thing, Brian Broaddus. I'm watching O line, D line all week. Cause
Yeah.
when you watch O line, D line, you accidentally see other things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be, I'm, just hyper focused, tapped in on those. Cause I mean, I think that's where all the questions are. I mean,
Right.
some people are. I mean, there's gonna be everybody talking about the wide receivers and the quarterbacks and things like that. And I think there's going to be many people to talk about like DBs and stuff like that'll get covered. I really think there are so many questions and answers needed with this O line group. I tell you what, I saw Perry on Winfrey. I put it on my Twitter. I saw Perry on Winfrey punch and extend the hell out of TJ Bass today. Like
Mhm.
it's just certain plays like that. Like, oh, you're in this non National Football League, and TJ Bass, he's a backup, but he's a 3-year veteran, 4-year veteran. So for Perry to come in, punch the hell out of him, and get some kind of pressure off of that, that at least tell me where Perry is right now. It's early. There are no pads on. We're really going to get a good idea of that next week.
Yeah.
Sunday, I believe the pads come on. Monday, the
Yeah.
pads come on. But just as a early indicator or whatever, it.
I think the pace of practice is pretty darn good.
I like
You
it
know,
too.
I felt like that they go from drill to drill, and you kind of get a little bit of a feel. Right now, they're in that installation stuff. So tomorrow will be a whole nother thing
Yeah,
that they're working on. But I think it was overall for both sides. It was a good start. I was encouraged by again some of the stuff I saw with the offensive line and the back and Sanders making the cut.
yeah.
I was encouraged by Fowler. I was encouraged by Ezraku, and I was encouraged by Span Ford. Him looking at least day one more like an NFL tight end that can deal with contested catches.
Well, Brian Broaddus, we did a show and there were no hiccups. It looked like I could see you good and you can see me. So we are not going to be doing shows from the hotel room. I have my nice little backdrop of the practice field. You be down there on the tennis courts, and we're going to do this again. We got 5 practices, I believe I'm down here for.
Yep.
So we'll have recaps just like this every single time for y'all. Yeah, I think we cool with the last words. We're gonna be on the break again on Thursday, so y'all be sure to
Right.
tap in with that. And Brian Broad is gonna be doing radio every single day on tennis courts, and I might pop on there one time with him. I don't know. We'll
Please
see.
do.
We'll
Please
see.
do. We'd love to have you, man. Love to have you.
Yes, sir. Y'all follow me at VOCHLONBARDI, and BRYN Broad is showing anybody that'll ask what's going on with the new studio, except for me. He won't show me. But we'll be breaking that thing down soon. We should be operational September 1 allegedly. So y'all
Yep.
keep y'all
That's
eyes
what we're
open for that.
working on.
Yep, and we'll come back and do this thing again tomorrow. All right, y'all hold it down until next time. We love y'all to pieces. All right, ground.